I am a Jedi. I escaped the dark side only to return. Why did I return?
After my most recent video outlining why you may not want to save Carth Onasi's son, Dustil, who he had originally believed dead,
Dustil is alive. We have to go to the Korriban Academy and find him.
but instead discovered had joined the Sith on Korriban in KOTOR 1, the comment section was a bit of a mixed bag. Some folks thinking he was better off dead. However, most believed it was short-sighted to kill Carth's offspring, and that Dustil was best to be left alive, especially as his last words were he was off to redeem his fellow Sith.
No. You go do whatever you have to, Father. I have some other friends here. I have to warn them what's going on.
And who are we to stop an ex-Sith from being reformed? What with Revan's entire story arc in the game? But what if I were to tell you that allowing Dustil to live was perhaps crueler than simply killing him? Let me explain.
I think Dustil's been getting the worst of it.
After the Killing Dustil video was uploaded, Elronix left a comment saying that Dustil's story was meant to be continued in KOTOR 2, and I personally had never come across any word of the younger Onasi in-game. I then learned that Dustil had been added in various ways to the game, which also surprised me, though it shouldn't have, that the modding community impressively had even gone to lengths to add him as a recruitable companion, much like his father in KOTOR 1, having the player find Dustil on Telos, no less, where he promised to meet Carth. Unfortunately, however, I then learned the official truth. Dustil never made that trip. In fact, Obsidian, the developers of KOTOR 2, had programmed Dustil into the game, and his story, though cut last minute, was pretty grim, which you shall soon see. However, the final game shows that during the events of KOTOR 2, the exile would originally stumble upon the body of a Jedi named Nebelish while investigating the tomb of an ancient Sith Lord on Korriban, Ludo Kresh. The Sith's tomb was filled with disturbing visions, conjured by victims' past trauma, in which we had to find our way through. Although easily missed, upon closer inspection, this dead Jedi, Nebelish, oddly looks a lot like Dustil Onasi. In fact, the official wiki states the polygon model of the corpse of Nebelish was actually the one used for Dustil Onasi in Knights of the Old Republic. But why? We know KOTOR 2 reused a lot of assets, so is it just coincidence? Well, as far as why this dead Jedi called Nebelish died, in the final game, his datapad explains that, like the exile, he's tortured with visions inside the tomb and, sometime later, presumably died of unknown causes. However, after retrieving the datapad, dark side creatures emerge from their shadows to strike, most likely responsible for the Jedi's demise. Though it turns out this was no coincidence at all, and Obsidian had swapped out Dustil for a generic dead Jedi named Nebelish last minute, and Dustil's content, though in the game files, was removed, presumably due to being unable to get his voice actor James Marsden in time. And this is where the story takes an even darker turn. Remember how Dustil's last words were, saying he would attempt to save his fellow Sith?
No. You go do whatever you have to, Father. I have some other friends here. I have to warn them what's going on. And maybe I can, look around here and find out some more information. From the inside. Something that might help you.
I don't suppose there's any way I could talk you out of that, is there? I mean, you're not gonna do anything halfway. Sounds familiar.
I guess it does.
I'm proud of you, Dustil. You aren't hanging on to a lie after you see it for what it is. Not everyone could do that.
Maybe after this is all over we can talk. I'm still not sure about us, but I'll listen. Maybe we can get back to where we should have been.
Well, I'd like that.
I'll go back to Telos when this is over. You can find me there. Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, son. Good luck.
Well, Dustil was originally planned to be very much alive, waiting inside the Sith tomb for the exile's arrival, where we can learn of his fate directly through dialogue found in game files, which the mod Dustil Restoration re-implements, and the confused Onasi would have originally greeted.
Another vision. Don't think I can't see through this deception.
We can then question the adult man, asking, "Who are you?"
Karis, questions. Visions always have questions for Dustil before the killing starts. I won't answer. Hear me, apparition. I won't answer.
You a Dustil?
Of course the vision knows my name. It probes my thoughts. But I'm learning the tricks, I am. Soon I will block them out entirely.
Dustil, it's this place. I'm not a vision.
I am not a vision, says the vision. Ha! Well then, I am not Dustil O'Nasi, son of Karth. No, I am not a Jedi either.
Karth Onasi's son.
The vision speaks of my father, not knowing I killed him 22 times, and he has killed me, but I did not die. He won't be coming back for me. Not again. With his tricks. Oh, Father, why did you leave?
So you're trapped in some kind of dark side loop. Do you know what causes the visions here?
Ah, the existential vision. What causes me? Why am I a vision? Deceptive vision. Dustil the Jedi is wise to your tricks.
You're a Jedi. What are you doing here then?
I am a Jedi. So proud to be. I escaped the dark side only to return. Why did I return? Why? The other Jedi wanted to. They tricked me. Oh, they tricked me. I did not know then that they were all visions. Visions all.
I think I'll be going now. Come with me. You can see Karth again.
The vision leaves, only to sneak up later when I am less aware. Better to silence it now.
You won't have me! You won't have me!
With no other conclusion to the story, Dustil attacks. After the younger Onasi dies, we find on his remains the same datapad that now makes a lot more sense a second time, reading,
Divisions. They thought to trick me by taking the form of my fellow Jedi, but my discipline is so strong, I tricked them back. One fell to the Chirac, and the others fell to my lightsaber.
We cannot tell if they were indeed visions that Dustil had taken care of, or rather, interlopers that had unfortunately crossed his path, and neither can he. This story arc, albeit tragic, now makes sense that the madness Dustil faced was his fears manifest. Forced to confront and kill his father, who he had just previously made amends with, and not saving his fellow students, as he once proudly proclaimed, and would have made his light side ending canonical in KOTOR 1. But somehow the Sith sickly forced him into a waking nightmare of him being their executioner for his crimes of attempting to turn his fellow Sith to the light. Worse yet, as he claims to be a Jedi, perhaps he said he made it off-world, embracing the light side, only for the Sith, through their treachery and deceit, or even the planet Korriban itself calling him back in a final act of retribution, claiming his sanity and soul in the process. Proving KOTOR 2 is far darker than its predecessor, forsaking superficial binaries such as should I follow the light or dark side in this quest for rewards, but forcing you to ponder, as Kreia does, on lessons such as sometimes you can do more harm with an open palm than a closed fist, making Dustil's death in KOTOR 1 seem less of a murder and more of a mercy killing.